Hi, this is Lenium. I saw a recent question in the forums on slicing, and I just thought that I'd do a quick tutorial on slicing. Now, here's a document that I made for the web. Never really got this one off the ground, so I'll use it. Now, this is a pretty general design for the web. You got your title up the top. You got a section over here for buttons. I actually use those as web buttons, so I design them in the design as I go. I'm going to have a footer here with a menu in the bottom of it. But first, why I like to slice is because I like to put this border in, and it gives me more options than the CSS to put in a beveled border with a little bit more styling. Let me show you just how I do that first. So File, New Document. I'm going to make a web document about the size for the video just to show how I do that. I'm going to choose my Shape tool. This will be just in a black color. And what I like to do is this rounded rectangle up here. And you can set your radius of your corners up here. 40 is a little bit high, but you'll be able to see in the video a lot better if I use 40. What I generally do is drag it out first to make the outline of the border, and then I'm going to go up here and choose this section here, which is subtract. So anything I do now will subtract from that. So I usually what do I want? I want a section up here maybe for a header, and then I want following the same design as I made. I had the flash buttons here, and then maybe a section here that's going to be the content of the website. This is just a bit messy just to explain how I'm doing it. Maybe a footer section here in a separate border, and maybe a small menu in there just for an Ajax or a CSS menu there. So now that's a bit unneat. So if I wanted to move stuff around, I can click my little select tool there and actually select inside that, and now I can move that around and refine that. I can also press Control and T and transform that around a little bit. So I can put that there like that and click the OK. I want to select this one here, click Transform and bring that back down there. So that might be my flash buttons or something there, and that's what I would do. I would then give them a style. I'll just give them something quick there now. That's a preset style, and maybe I'd play around with, say, the bevel, and instead of being smooth I might make it chiseled hard. Okay, now I'd probably refine that a lot more, but that gives you a basis of what I would do, just to choose different borders. Okay, so we'll go back and have a look at how the last one turned out. We don't want to save that, and you can see it's a lot neater border, and I've thought about it a little bit better here. Before we do the slice, what I'm actually going to do is if I close up these ones here and see all the layers, so there's lots of different little layers here, home button, we've actually got them grouped, so I can actually close the whole group. What I want to do is turn off those buttons, because I'm going to take those later on and put them into Flash and make buttons out of them, so I don't want that as the slice. The reason why we slice is so that we can make different quality images. We don't want to make the whole thing one big JPG or JPEG or something like that. So maybe I want to make this picture of the girl JPEG, and this top bit up here, which is not very many colors, would be ideal as a GIF. So let's go in and save that for web. We'll slice it first. Let's slice. We've got to slice it first. So maybe what I'd do is slice this one here, and you can see as I made that one, that's one slice there in the orange triangle, it's sliced up several around it, and that's because they can only be in rectangles. So if you make one rectangle there, it's going to make everything else in squares around it for the rest of the document already. So I don't really want that. I want that whole thing there as one image. So I'm just going to drag out my rectangle, neaten it up a little bit. I'm a little bit rough at doing this just for the video. It's just been done quickly. So that section there would be a JPEG, GIF up the top, JPEG. These other ones would just be automatic spaces. Now, this middle section's important. Now, how I would do it is, I don't want to drag that one down, we want that to go back up. We want a separate section in here, so that's going to be an expandable section there. So I'm actually going to delete that, and what I do is put a div in there with a black background. That gives me expandable sections. Also, what I want to do is slice that side bit there and this side bit here, because that's going to be a small div and expand with this middle section. Now as I've done that, it's made an automatic slice in the middle again, so I'll just take that out by doing that. Now I've got a slice in the middle that I can just delete. And the same with the Ajax menu here. I'm going to put an Ajax menu there, so I could probably slice that out, or I could leave it on top and just give it a Z index above the image. But I'm going to slice it out, because if the image is there, it'll be a longer download, so I can actually delete that out if I slice it. And maybe this bottom section here, you'd make it into a GIF or something like that. Okay, so there it is, all pretty quickly sliced up. I'd spend a little bit more time usually, but for the video, let's get it done. Save as web for web devices and that sort of thing. Okay. What you then do is you come into this section for your save for web and devices. Now it's given me a 2 up. You can go to 4 up, but I'll just explain it in the 2 up. This one here would be the original. This one here would be the optimized one for the web. So if I'm going to choose one, I'm going to choose, say, this one here. I'm going to make that a GIF. It's already come in as a GIF, because that's what I made the last image as, a GIF. I'm choosing 64 colors. If I take it up to 256 colors, it will be better quality, but it's 2 seconds. Now, if I want to drill down on that, I go to 64, and it's now down at 1 second. So it's giving me the download time at 56, which is pretty slow. Like, no one really has that. You can actually change your download time. Maybe, 128's more modern to what's happening now, but 56 just for this thing. So that's 1 second. This one here, I don't want it to be a GIF, because that's going to distort too much. You can already see it's probably distorting more in the video, but that's distorted too much. It's 64 colors, so we actually want that to be a JPEG. And at high, it's at 60, which is probably what I'd use it at. There isn't that many colors there, so that's at 8 seconds. You can take up the quality if you want to take it up to, say, 80. It's gone up to 12 seconds download. So you find your compromise between quality and download time. So I can drill down that right down on a JPEG and make it say 12, and then it's worse than a GIF, but it's at 5 seconds. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at it as a PNG. Same image is 22 seconds, obviously much bigger download. So JPEG at quality, we do the quality here at medium, say that's at 30. It sits 6 seconds. Let's do it high at 8 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds is not very long. So then we just save it, and I'm just going to save it on the desktop. Save. There's already one there, so I'm just going to replace all those ones from the test video I've just done. Now that's made a HTML document. Streamweaver will take that away. So I've just saved these two. Let's open up this first. This is the folder with all the images in it. See, so it's containing all the images. Put them neatly out. It's named them with a number each one. You can actually rename these, but do it in Photoshop. Don't do it here, because it'll mess up your HTML. So I'll close that off, and we'll look at the document in Firefox. And there it is in Firefox. So it's come through. It's set it out as all of a table, And usually what I would do is make the background black and change some CSS around and stuff. So let's look at doing that. Let's close that. Close that off. Okay. Now I'll open that with Dreamweaver. And we have a look. We drag Dreamweaver over here. Dreamweaver, of course, it's in design mode. So if I click here, you can see that that one picture is in there. The image is in there. That's a whole image by itself. I had the layer turned off for the buttons, so they're missing, of course. They don't come in if they're turned off. Now this section here would be the bit that we're going to delete. So I select that image and I just press delete and it's gone. So then I'd go into the code mode and I would put a div in there and make it black. So you'd put your div in and name it BG div whatever, and of course make your style sheet say that was black. So if I go into my design mode, see I've got an expanding section there. Now there's two over here somewhere that I made. There it is, just there. I would turn that into a div as well. So if I go to the code section, it's got that picture. I would put a div in that section and make that the background, but make it expand all the way up and down. Okay, so it would expand with this middle bit. Okay, and it's the same. You've got your header section up there, you've got your bottom footer section, and your expanding section, like most of us do with PHP. Alright, so if I go into what I've already made with this, turn it off live view, you can see that I've now made it with that expanding section. I'll put some content in there. I've made it black. I've put my little menu down the bottom, and if I press live view, you can see that the flashes come in just how I had it in Photoshop. I've got it all set up and I've added some CSS with an expanding section. There's a little form there to send away stuff, and a full expanding little section. I wonder if that's going to connect up. Oh, it does connect up to my PHP. Okay, so and I've got the bottom menu down here all in place. Now I've actually, if I go out of live view, you can see that I've actually deleted that image there, so I don't even have to upload that bit. But how that works out is the image folder, all the images are in one folder, of course, and for all the pages they all reference that one folder, so that if I bring that across and you look at it, I'll make a template which is the original HTML, and I divvy it up with some CSS, and I just reuse that to make all the other pages, and that's how I do my slices and make the HTML sort of work. So the important thing is to make an expanding bit in the middle of it when you make your Photoshop. So in your Photoshop document, well, that's how I do it. You can do it however you want. You make this section here for your expanding section, and you just delete it, create a div with a background of black, or you use however your design is. That's just how I do it, and I use pretty much this module for a number of sites. This one never got off the ground. It's maybe on the web, it may not be, I don't even know. It was a couple of years ago. Okay, so I hope that helps out with any slicing queries that you may have. Thank you very much.